Hey everyone, I wanted to put together a quick video to share the systems I use for nutrition. I basically pardon the background around my face and stuff like that. It's like a frame that you can use on Loom, and it's like for the Lunar New Year, just to celebrate, the Lunar New Year in China, just to celebrate it with them, So just wanted to do that for fun. But wanted to share my nutrition system. So right now I'm using MyFitnessPal. So I use MyFitnessPal to track my calories and my water. So I've been tracking my calories for years now, and MyFitnessPal basically, I'm on the desktop here and you can see it, but I don't use the desktop usually, but I just wanted to pull it up so that you could just see, I guess, what I'm using. But I use the app, the MyFitnessPal app, and it allows you to scan. So it allows you to do quite a bit of things, but scan the barcode on packages of food, and so you can add it to your calories and stuff like that. And it allows you to track your calories, your grams of fat, grams of carbs, grams of protein, sodium, potassium, a few micronutrients. But always double check that the numbers in the MyFitnessPal, I always check that the numbers in the MyFitnessPal reflect what's on the package itself, because sometimes it's a little off. So, this is what I've been using for years now. If you live in I live in the US, so, I'm not sure if it's different abroad, if, there aren't as many foods that you can scan and stuff like that. So I would say for someone who lives abroad, who wants to track their food, I always say, measure it, try to eat the same stuff daily and measure it and decrease or increase based on what your goal is for your weight. So that'll segue into the second part of this. So, another thing is, so I'm eating about 3,500 calories at the moment, so 3,516 calories a day. And my breakdown, let me see what my goals are. Or I wonder if they have it on here. Food. Let me see if it's in here. Goals. Here we go. Goals. My daily nutrition goals. 3,500 calories, 510 carbs, 80 grams of fat, and 189 grams of protein. So, how did I get to this? So what I used was, also on top of that, I drink 1 gallon of water per day, just because, I've done a lot of research on nutrition, recommended, quantity of water to drink, and I do at least a gallon, maybe a little over a gallon a day. I've been doing that for years now. And for me, the biggest change has been in my skin is more like full and stuff like that. That's kind of cool. And I'm sure it's helped me just with my performance and things like that. But, the reason I picked that number is because, I read this book called Bigger, Leaner, Stronger. And in that book, he cites the Institute of Medicine's recommendation is like a gallon for men and 3/4 of a gallon for women for water intake. So that's kind of what I've been using. And on top of that, I'm kind of eating a lot of calories. Some people might be like, wow, that's a lot of calories, because it is. But, I follow a traditional breakdown macronutrient like this. I'm not like keto. I don't do intermittent fasting. I just kind of found what works for me in terms of like consumption. I couldn't even do intermittent fasting if I want to. If you're eating 3,500 calories a day, there's no way to do it. You'd have to eat dude, it'd be nuts. But long story short, I use the Legion Athletics, the writer of Bigger, Leaner, Stronger. This is his website, Legion Athletics. I use this macronutrient calculator to calculate how many calories I need. So this was how I initially calculated the calories. So you just go through and you just, answer some questions and things like that, and then it gives you an output. And you should consume the following calories. It'll tell you the protein, carbs, and fat, what they recommend, which is what I do. I do use the recommendations for not only the number of calories, but the breakdown in terms of protein, fat, and carbs. And what I do is, right now I'm currently increasing my weight. I'm bulking, and so what I do is my goal is to gain a half a pound to a pound a week. Right now I'm focusing on just a pound a week. And so what I do is I increase or decrease my calories by 5% depending on, my, where I want to go with my weight, or where I'm at and where I want to go. So that kind of brings me to this here. So I've been tracking my weight since 12 to 2019. I actually think it's longer than that. I have another spreadsheet where I've been tracking it even longer. But, so it's been a while, man. It's, 12 of 2020, 2 years now, I guess. Yeah, a little over 2 years I've been tracking my weight every single day. And I look at 7-day averages. So when I'm looking at my, where I'm trying to go with my weight, if I want to increase, decrease, or maintain, I look at weekly averages, and then I put, every week I do 7 days, and then I put it in here. And then also I have my calories calculator here. I just use this for my own, just increase, decrease by 5%. You don't have to worry about this too much. You can use this to calculate everything. But I use it because here is where I'll decrease it or increase it by 5%. So like increase it by 5%, decrease it by 5% based on where I'm at that day. So this is my nutrition system. This does not include, my supplements or my exercise. This is just solely the food that I eat. Another thing to keep in mind is I do try to eat whole foods. I try to stay away from, because it's pretty easy to eat the breakdown of these. You can get, 58% carbs, 20%, 22% protein, and you could be eating, foods that aren't super healthy. So I try to really eat, I'm not very good at eating vegetables, to be honest, just to be frank. That's like my kryptonite, I guess. I'm trying to get better at that, but I do eat fruits every day, yogurt, oatmeal. I wouldn't say I have like the perfect nutrition system. Nothing's ever perfect. You're always iterating it, but I just work to get better every day. And so, this is my nutrition system. I would say for anyone who's interested in building a nutrition system, or who, hasn't invested in one, I think it's important, just because, our relationship with food is crucial to how we live and how we grow. It's something we don't think about. We don't think of it as a relationship. And we also have to understand that, we live in a time where generally a lot of people have access to a ton of food. This does not include areas where there's a lot of poverty and things like that. But in kind of the developed world, there's access to unhealthy foods in, crazy amounts. So it's, it's kind of like our responsibility to just build a healthy relationship with food, so that those influences don't cause us to eat foods that might not make us feel great. Things like long-term, might make us feel good short-term, but not necessarily long-term. So, I try to eat within my calories. Another thing, kind of the biggest reason, I did study nutrition. I have a degree in nutrition from university, but, one of the reasons, I think there are a few reasons, but, I'll go through a couple reasons. One reason I invested in my nutrition was because, when I was working in my business, I was working really long hours, and I wasn't really watching what I was eating, and I just wasn't really investing in that system, that nutrition piece of it. And I just, one day was like, I need to build a system for this. I need to have something that I can use for the long term. And it takes time to set it up. It's like any other system. It takes time to set it up, but now it's habit. You know what I mean? I wake up and I measure and I calculate every single thing. And that's just, you don't have to do that. I don't know you necessarily need to go that extreme. I tend to be a pretty extreme person in almost like a lot of things. Like when I do something, I just want to be like really good. And so I'm like, what would be like the best way to do it and fit it in my lifestyle? You know what I mean? Like not like be a full-time job, but like this isn't like a full-time job. I can measure, put it in, and I'm good to go. I can do it pretty quickly these days. And if you eat the same foods every day, you can just add them in, even the day before. But that's one reason. The other reason is because, I think that I have people in my life that don't invest in their health, and I've seen what can happen, and people that are close to me. And so, that moved me. It moved me. It was very emotional for me, to an extreme. I have an extreme personality, so I have extreme emotions, right, as well. So, it's just one thing where I was like, man, this needs to be done, and it needs to be done right, and it needs to be done to the best of my ability. And so that's why I kind of got into it, man. And now it's just a part of my daily life. I think I am a little radical when it comes to my health, to be honest, which isn't very mainstream. But, it's always good to really be conscious about inputs versus outputs. I also saw it from a data perspective. You know what I mean? Like, what you put in your body, like the liquid and the food, the organic material you put in your body is directly correlated with the outputs. You know what I mean? Like, if you're not getting the right vitamins, minerals, protein, if you're not, bad inputs equal bad outputs. That's kind of how I think of it. Now, I know that's a little extreme, like, I don't think someone who doesn't eat healthy is bad. I don't think that at all. I just think that, like, for me personally, I wanted optimum inputs so I could get optimum outputs. So if I can eat healthier and, do things better, it's going to help me physically. It's going to help me psychologically, emotionally, spiritually. It kind of trickles into the other areas of your life. You know what I mean? It just helps with all of those. So, and I've seen it happen for me. I'm better at making decisions, better at managing relationships, things like that. But, that's kind of into my why, my personal reasons. But I wanted to share my nutrition system because it's something I'm really close to. And I like to share the things that I'm really close to. All right, guys. Hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions, let me know. Leave it in the comments below. And I will talk to you later. Bye.